Page 177, exercise 13.1. I did not do a video on Unit 12 because I don't consider myself knowledgeable enough on jazz and blues type stuff they're talking about there to really talk about it. There's plenty of YouTube videos where they explain jazz and blues and stuff, and I would encourage you to go watch their videos if that's the kind of music you're interested in learning more about. So I'll just skip all that and we'll go on to Unit 13. Starting here over on page 176, they talk about classical style. You'll hear about this kind of thing, the style for the period of music you're playing. We have different periods of music. You got Baroque and classical and romantic, and impressionistic and contemporary and avant-garde and whatever. I have problems with different styles, but I do think it's important if you're going to play a composer's music that you more or less play it like the composer intended it to be played, which means usually playing it in that style for that period of time, whatever that style is. It's just that it's a little gray area. Over here on page 176, they talk about phrasing, how important it is. Phrasing is important in any style of music. Doesn't matter what it is, it is. Now, when you get into Baroque music and like that, they didn't put phrasing marks in the music, they just put the notes in. It was up to you as the performer to know that kind of stuff. But then when you get into the classical period, then they start putting in these additional things, articulation and dynamics and tempo. They're getting picky, and it's up to you to learn to follow those. But it's not just classical style. I mean, romantics and impressionist and contemporary, they all use them. So whatever, you have to be pretty exact to what you're doing. On this exercise 13.1 by Clementi. Now Clementi, his pieces, in my opinion, are just fun to play. When I was young, learning to play the piano, my grandmother had a Clementi sonatina book, which I happen to still have today. This is a long time ago. So that book is over 100 years old now, but I just enjoyed playing them. They were fun. The notes were fun, the way it worked. It was just fun. I didn't pay attention to dynamics and making it musical, any of that. I just liked playing the notes. They were fun. It wasn't until years later where I learned that, you can turn that into music and take it to another level. And oh, that's kind of fun too. But in this piece, let's just talk about it a little bit. It says allegro, whatever that is. Okay, it's fast, whatever that means to you. But in 3/8 time, you're counting eighth notes. So it's like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And yeah, follow the phrasing, that's fine. No pedal, don't need it. Fingers do it all. Do the articulation. I don't think there's anything terribly tricky about this. It's all pretty straightforward. The melody's in the right hand pretty much, so you do that. Keep the left hand. These broken chords, keep them soft. Remember the dynamic giving, this MP? That's the melody. So everything else has to be under. Dolce means sweetly. I don't know what that is either. You decide. Kind of depends on the mood I'm in, how sweet it's going to turn out. Etc. You just keep going. I think it's fun to play. I really do. I would encourage you to give this a shot. You may have to go real slow at first. Real slow. Over on page 178, 179, it continues, and you just have some fun with it. On page 178, it's a measure 174. I can't talk. There's nothing in the measure but a rest and a hold, a fermata. What they're telling you to do here is just kind of everything comes to a stop. Now, it's like a bridge. A bridge in music is something that connects two ideas together, bridges them together. different kinds of bridges. Well, here you got a bridge that's totally silent because the stuff in front of it, the three measures in front of it, and then you stop for 3 beats and or whenever. You just stop and hold it, and then you continue on like you were at the beginning. And that's how he bridged those ideas together. Isn't that interesting? There is some form here, but we'll talk about form in the next video when you get into classical form and so forth, sonata form. Then you may want to come back and re-examine this because you have the forms, you have the exposition, the development, and the recapitulation. And if you can understand the forms, it helps you interpret the music and understand what's going on.